In today's video, I will be going over how to unlock the brand new schematics in Season 5 Reloaded as fast as possible. But before we get into it, there's some things that you will really need to make this Easter egg easier but also completed. One of the first things is you will have to unfortunately need quite a few acquisitions from previous Easter eggs and also specifically schematics. One of the first things, and that is the schematic, is from the first Easter egg, so if you haven't completed that one, this will probably prove to be more difficult than doing it without, well, obviously like solo. So what you need for that is the actual Aether blade, because we will be needing that for one step. The next one is the blood burner, which you can thankfully find around the map, but you're better off getting the actual key. The nice thing with that is you can easily get that from completing the second mission, but it is very random. And lastly, the last item that you will need is from the third Easter egg, and that is the Sergeant's Beret. Now the next thing that I want to say is you will also need the Scorcher, most likely for completing the actual acquisitions slash schematics in the Elder Sigil or just Sigil, because that Dark Aether is impossible to do just running around really fast unless you're really good at it, and if you're going to be hopping in for the first time, it's going to be very challenging. And the last thing that you will need is players. I do not recommend completing this solo in any way, at least for your first time. So we do have a Discord server linked down in the description. We do have a special channel where people always go to and look for players for help. And this one, you need as much help as possible. I was super lucky to find people in the game, and we still only got the sigil done. And thankfully, the upgrading of items is actually easily completed in solo, which we can move on to right now. The first thing that I want to talk about is actually the drum. So you might be able to be thinking, oh, I can use the old upgraded items. No, you cannot use the items from the first Easter egg, second Easter egg, or third Easter egg, and that is specifically the giraffe, diary, or the drum. And you need to find these items and upgrade them. So the way you find the drum is you need the blood burner key, and then move over to G4 in tier 3, and you will find a bunny. When you buy that bunny with the blood burner, you will then be able to see arrows on the ground that will be pointing you to a certain direction. Follow those arrows, they will get you go over water and stuff like that, but once you get to the very end, you will be able to get an Aether rift, and inside of that you will get the drum. The next item that we want to move over to is the diary. The way you get the diary is you actually have to have mimics be killed by the Aether blade. The best way to complete this is actually activating the triangle at G6, which is just beside the tier 3 mission or area where you might have just gotten the drum. And here all you have to do is knife specific like runes, because you won't be able to shoot them inside, well, unless you have a pistol in the water. And then once you do that, a triangle will appear, and then you just have to angle yourself perfectly to activate it in the water in this area. Once you have that done, a bunch of mimics will be spawning, and all you need to do is just constantly throw your knife until, well, one of them just activates the portal to appear. The third item that you can get in the main location is going to be the actual giraffe, and for this one you do need the sergeant's beret, and what you do from here is put it on and find a merc camp, stronghold, anything like that, and just go behind any one of the mercs, doesn't matter which one it is, and just use the activation to do a finisher. All you have to do is just go behind them and hold down your melee weapon. That's what it should always be like, and once you do that, it will spawn in the rift. And the last item obviously that you need is the bunny that you just get from completing the actual mission, which is still very challenging but not impossible. If you want to do this one solo, you can, but I do recommend players to complete this as well. Now, how do you upgrade the other items, because the bunny is upgraded? Well, for the drum, all you have to do is make your way over to F7 in tier 2. It is right here, and you need to climb up this weird tower statue. Once you do that, you will find a rock. Once you interact with this rock, it will spawn in these glowing pillars around the sides. Well, these pillars were already here, but they'll be glowing, and what they are is essentially ammo mods. And from here, a bunch of zombies will be spawning in, a bunch of mimics that are super frustrating. There will also be 4 zombies that have different colors. What you have to do from here is walk over to each one of the pillars, and they will just automatically give you the ammo mod you need. They will not disappear. So if you, let's say, pick up the brain rot one and then you activate cryo freeze, brain rot will always be there. You'll always be able to go back, and the zombies will not be dying that need to be killed by a specific ammo mod unless you have it on you. So no matter what, this one is easily completed, but also it's easier said than done because it is still a bit challenging. The next item that we will be upgrading is actually the diary, and from here you need to make your way over to D2, which can also be a Pack-a-Punch 2 location. And from here what you do is you go up to this bird tower, another tower, and activate this stone Tombstone right here, and from here you will be teleported on one of the huge pipes or whatever they're called, the radioactive thing, and from here you need to land exactly on this blue crate, whatever you want to call it. Now, what you do need before that is PhD flopper, and the nice thing is the actual rock itself, before you can take the portal to teleport there, you will be able to pick up the PhD flopper. From here, you need to perfectly dive onto that actual blue like crate and land on it with PhD flopper. So sprint and dive. Don't worry if you miss. I missed a bunch of times. You can actually find a portal right behind you that will take you back to the exact same spot where you were just a while ago, and rinse and repeat. And this one's super easy to complete. And the last one is, dare I say, the most challenging. So you definitely do need a team, and for this one what you need to do is actually go over to F4 in tier 3, and there will be a bunch of special zombies that are here, but you need this specific rock and this like van truck, whatever you want to call it. Once you activate it, a bunch, and I mean a bunch of special zombies and a bunch of actual boss zombies and a bunch of zombies will be spawning in, and from here we need to kill every single one of the special ones. Now these special zombies are the contract zombies, so essentially mega abomination, but it has like its own special name. Mimics, manglers, disciples, they're all super overpowered, so definitely for this one, if you don't feel confident in solo, team is a must. I needed it because I went down a bunch of times, and thankfully I had a really nice group of people that helped me out with this one, and this will give you the Giraffe upgrade. Also, something I forgot to mention, remember to have all of those on you to actually upgrade these items. Now from here, make your way over to the actual like pillar area, put in all these items. If you are in a team, make sure one person from your team does this, not everybody mixed up. So if you have a teammate, drop it for him or they drop it for you, and you put in all those items. They don't have to be in order, but just in case you could if you want to, but they don't, just in case if you're worried about that. From there will be a huge portal that appears, a typical thing from the Easter eggs. For us, there was a mega abomination, but I assume since this is the last Easter egg, it could possibly spawn in any of the super like zombies, and obviously this one will drop you a definite sigil. Now from here you can either go into the Elder sigil or sigil itself, and I cannot emphasize this enough, if you don't have a scorcher for this one, jump into the sigil first and as many times as possible. Learn that strategy, because in here you don't have to specifically look for the bunnies, but you do have to look for those beams of light. And when you go over there, there are 3 different missions that you can get. The first one is a normal hold-up mission where you're just gonna have to stay in one area and protect it from zombies, or well, protect yourself. The next one could potentially be an escort mission. I really do recommend having a VR11 and some turrets for this one. This will make your life super easier. VR11 will heal it. Lastly, a spore contract. One thing I will say about the spore contract, these spores will be all over the place, so do be careful with that. And lastly, if you're wondering where the exfil is, the one that we used was on top of the big tower that you can either use a scorcher, which will make your life easier, or you unfortunately have to take the first train, then bus, or Breaking Bad camper van as I like to call it, and then you'll be at the very top and you can exfil. You can either exfil with the 15 minutes of Elder Sigil and get all the schematics, or I do recommend actually doing acquisitions unless you're a professional. Personally, that was really stressful. We barely escaped with time, and yeah, you do get some okay items. You do get the Disciple Bottle, Grenade Bandolier, and lastly, you will get an increase of ammo stash. So it's not the worst, it's not the best, but it's definitely a challenging, fun ending. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and good luck. Remember, Discord server link down in the description. Peace out.